Depending on where you live, things with the pandemic remain questionable. How will that impact class of 22 juniors and their ability to take the SAT and ACT and college's expectations that you do so? Well, that's what we're about to answer. In a normal year, many colleges require the SAT or ACT as part of your applications package. Last year, most colleges went test optional because many students weren't able to take the tests. Now, this is not a good year to be predicting the future, but most likely this year will be somewhere in between. Problem is, it's hard to know at this point whether the colleges you want to apply to next fall are going to require the tests, and if not, whether you should take them anyway. So, cutting to the point, what should you do? If you think some of the colleges that you want to apply to in the fall are going to require an SAT or ACT score, then yeah, go ahead, proceed with the test plan I'll get to in a second. If all of the schools you're looking at are test blind, which means they won't even look at your scores if you send them in, like some of the UCs, then wait. Don't take the tests until there's a school that you're applying to that needs it. And if you're on the borderline, somewhere in the middle, do this. First, try to determine if the tests might help you. How do you do that? Well, first get an estimate of what your chances of getting into a test optional school might be without a test score. Just Google, school I want to go to, average GPA. Is your GPA higher than what the school usually admits? Then you might be good. But if your GPA is at or below their usual numbers, you might need something to help boost you up. Maybe an SAT or ACT score. You can do the same thing with test scores, by the way. Google school I want to go to, average SAT or ACT, and compare it with yours. Well, I don't have a test score yet, Paul. That's why I'm watching your dumb video to find out if I should get one. Okay, don't be mad. Easiest way to do that's with a free practice test. You can do that on the test website or on Khan Academy, or you can take one of the proctored Zoom ones that we do most months at pjtestprep.com. You can also use a PSAT or pre-ACT score, though you usually have to take 100 points off of a PSAT score because the curve is easier. But assuming you're at least close, take a shot. You can always not send the scores in. Normally, I would recommend March or April for SAT, ACT first attempts. Waiting a little bit longer may be okay this year too, if you want to just wait till your APs are over. Side note, it does help if you're able to figure out test center locations that have begun giving tests. If a center has recently given one, it is more likely that they'll be able to run more in the future. And then start some prep. But maybe something that will allow you to pivot in case of a postponement. PJ Test Prep's classes, for instance, always have a Zoom option, and you can retake the class as many times as you'd like. Check out pjtestprep.com if you need any more info or want to see our schedule. Oh, and if you're a sophomore watching this video, just wait till next year. No matter what, other parts of your application, like the essays, are still going to be especially important this year, so a lot of the tips I covered in last spring's video, which I'll link here at the end of the video, will still be relevant. But keep your head up. And if you're watching this video, you are going to college. There are 1,400 colleges out there, and most of them are desperate to get warm bodies back on campus. Just make sure you're optimizing your application package so you can maximize your chances of getting into as many of them as possible.